There's nothing you need to do right now. You don't need to listen closely. You don't need to remember anything. Don't do anything yet. And you don't need to stay awake. This is Night Letters, a quiet place at the end of the day. Tonight, we'll spend some time in a gentle place, moving slowly, without any rush. You can let the words pass by if you like, or you can follow along for as long as you're comfortable. And if sleep comes, you're welcome to. As you arrive here, you may notice the way the light rests in the space. Soft, unhurried. The air feels calm, neither too warm nor too cool, just settled. There are distant sounds, nothing close, nothing demanding attention, only reminders that the night is present. The ground beneath you feels steady, supportive, holding you without effort. This place doesn't expect anything from you. It's enough just to be here. The light has already been turning for a long time. It moves without effort, slow, steady, making its way across the dark in a wide, patient arc, then beginning again. There is no sense of when it started, and no sense of when it will stop. The night around it feels settled, not new, not changing, as though it has already found its shape and decided to keep it. Far below, the sea remains calm. Its surface is dark and smooth, broken only by the quiet movement of water against itself. There is no urgency in the sound, no rise or fall that asks for attention, just a low, steady presence, repeating in a way that feels familiar. The lighthouse stands where it always has. Stone walls rise upward from the ground, solid, unmoving, holding the interior space gently inside them. They feel cool to the touch, even from a distance, carrying the quiet of many nights like this one. Inside, the air is still. Warm light fills the lower levels of the tower, soft, contained, never bright. It rests against the stone without trying to travel far, settling into corners, along the curve of the walls. The keeper is already awake, not alert, not waiting, just present. His steps move along the floor at an easy pace, unhurried, falling into a rhythm that does not need thought. The sound is muted by the stone beneath him, each footfall absorbed quickly, leaving the space unchanged. He pauses near the base of the stairway. The stairs curve upward in a slow spiral, their edges worn smooth by countless passes. They feel familiar beneath his hand as he begins to climb, one step at a time, without counting, without marking the distance. The light follows him gently as he moves upward. It shifts slightly with each step, then settles again, never flickering enough to matter. Shadows stretch along the wall beside him, then soften, keeping pace without drama. The tower feels narrow here, contained, quiet. Each step leads naturally to the next, the motion steady. Practiced, there is no effort in it, no pause to adjust. The keeper's breathing remains slow, even, moving with him as though it belongs to the space itself. A small window appears along the curve of the wall. The keeper slows as he passes it, not stopping, just allowing the moment to lengthen. Beyond the glass, the night looks the same as it did before. The sea remains calm. The sky holds steady, dark, wide. Without drawing attention, he continues upward. The air changes slightly as he climbs, cooler now, carrying the faint scent of salt and stone. It is subtle, easy to miss, blending into the familiar atmosphere of the tower. At the next level, he steps onto the floor and pauses. The room is quiet and orderly. Everything rests where it belongs. Nothing waits to be adjusted. Nothing asks to be checked. The keeper stands there for a moment, then moves on again. His presence light, unremarkable. Another flight of stairs curves upward. The pattern repeats itself. Step, step, pause, step. Time stretches gently here, losing its sharp edges. There is no sense of how long the climb takes, only the steady feeling of movement continuing. Near the top, the light grows brighter, though never harsh. The lantern housing the great lamp rests at the center of the space. Its glass panels are clean and clear. The mechanism turns smoothly, without sound. The beam sweeps outward, passing across the night in its slow, dependable rhythm. The keeper approaches without hurry. He does not rush to it. He does not lean in closely. He simply stands nearby, comfortable with its presence, letting the light continue its work without interference. Everything is already functioning as it should. The beam turns, then turns again, its motion unbroken. The keeper rests his hand briefly against the railing, feeling the steady vibration beneath his palm. It is subtle, constant, reassuring in its sameness. Beyond the glass, the sea remains unchanged. No waves rise suddenly. No reflections shift dramatically. The light passes over the water and continues on, leaving the surface exactly as it was before. The keeper takes a slow breath, then another. Without thinking about it, he steps back slightly, giving the space room to be what it already is. The tower holds the quiet easily. Stone walls stand firm, enclosing the warmth inside. Nothing feels unfinished. Nothing feels urgent. The night does not ask for attention. The light continues to turn. The tower continues to stand. And the keeper remains, moving only when it feels natural to do so. The calm of the night settles fully into place, steady, unchanging, as everything continues exactly as it should. The keeper moves away from the lamp without hurry, not stepping back as if finished, just drifting into motion again, letting the night continue the way it already has. The stairs wait quietly beneath his feet. Stone curves downward in the same gentle spiral, each step familiar in shape and distance. His hand rests lightly against the wall, not for balance, just from habit. The surface is cool and smooth, holding the temperature of the night without change. Step by step, the sound remains soft, contained, never echoing. The light above continues its slow turning, unseen now, but still present, still steady. Its rhythm does not change as the keeper moves farther away. Nothing depends on where he stands. At the lower level, he pauses briefly. The room feels unchanged since he last passed through it. The air is still. The light rests in the same places along the wall. Shadows remain where they were, neither deepening nor fading. He takes a few unhurried steps across the floor. The movement feels optional, unnecessary, but comfortable. A small window sits along the outer wall. Its glass is dark and clear. The keeper stops near it, looking out without searching. Beyond the pane, the sea stretches outward, calm, steady, its surface barely moving. The sound of water is distant, even blending easily with the quiet of the tower. He stands there for a while. There is no thought of how long, no sense of waiting. When he turns away, nothing feels interrupted. His steps carry him toward the door that opens to the outer walkway. The door moves easily when he pushes it. Its hinges are quiet, well used. Cool air slips inside for a moment, then settles, as though it belongs there. Outside, the night feels wide and open. The keeper steps onto the stone walkway that circles the tower. The ground beneath him is firm, slightly cool, textured just enough to be felt through the soles of his boots. He walks slowly along the curve, following the rounded edge without effort. The light passes overhead as he moves. It sweeps across the sea, across the rocks below, then returns again, unchanged. Wind brushes lightly against the tower, not strong enough to move anything, just enough to be noticed, and then forgotten. The keeper continues along the path, his pace steady, his posture relaxed. He stops near the railing. From here, the sea looks much the same as it did moments ago. The water reflects faint traces of light, but nothing sharp, nothing shifting suddenly. The horizon remains quiet, indistinct, blending gently into the night sky. The keeper rests his hands on the stone edge for a moment. The surface feels solid, unchanging, as dependable as the tower itself. He breathes slowly, evenly, the motion unforced. After a while, he turns back toward the door. Inside again, the warmth feels familiar rather than contrasting. The air settles quickly once the door closes, returning the tower to its steady stillness. The keeper moves through the space without looking closely at anything. There is no need. The stairs wait again. He begins to climb, step by step, the same rhythm returning without effort. The curve of the stairway guides him upward. The motion smooth, practiced. At the upper level, the light grows brighter once more. The lamp continues its work, the mechanism turning quietly, perfectly balanced. The keeper stands nearby, not inspecting, not adjusting. Everything is already aligned. He remains there for a time. The beam passes, then passes again, its arc wide, patient. Nothing interrupts it. The keeper shifts his weight slightly, then stills again, His presence does not alter the space. The tower holds him the way it holds the light, without effort, without attention. Eventually, he moves away once more. The path back down feels the same as before. The steps do not change. The walls do not shift. Each level receives him quietly as he passes through. At the base of the tower, he pauses again. This pause feels longer, or perhaps it does not. Time continues without shape. The keeper settles onto a bench near the wall, sitting comfortably, neither alert nor drifting. His hands rest loosely. His shoulders relax. The light from above filters faintly downward, enough to soften the space without filling it. The sound of the sea remains distant, steady, unchanged. The keeper stays there for a while. Nothing asks him to move. When he stands again, it feels natural, unmarked by decision. He walks a short distance, then stops, then walks again. The movement small, unimportant. The tower continues to hold its quiet. The light continues to turn. The sea continues to rest. Everything moves forward together, slowly, without urgency. The keeper moves again without marking the moment, not starting something new, just continuing what has already been happening. He walks slowly along the lower level of the tower. His steps are quiet, familiar. The stone beneath him feels the same with each pass. Firm, steady, holding the warmth of the interior without change. The walls curve gently around the space, enclosing it in a way that feels settled, complete. A lantern rests on a small shelf near the wall. Its flame is modest, steady, adding a soft glow that blends easily with the light filtering down from above. The keeper passes it without looking closely. It does not need attention. It has been burning like this for hours. He pauses near a narrow table where a few simple objects rest. They remain exactly as they were before. Nothing has shifted. Nothing needs to be moved. The keeper's hand hovers briefly, then lowers again, leaving everything untouched. The air inside the tower feels calm, balanced, not warm, not cool, just even. The keeper takes a slow breath, then another. The motion easy, unremarkable. His breathing blends into the quiet, becoming part of the space, rather than something separate. After a while, he turns toward the stairs once more. The climb feels familiar, almost automatic. Step follows step, the spiral guiding him upward without effort. The sound of movement remains soft, absorbed quickly by the stone. As he ascends, the light grows brighter again, though never harsh. Shadows stretch along the curve of the wall, then soften, repeating a pattern that feels well worn, reassuring. Near the top, he slows, not because anything has changed, just because the moment allows. He reaches the upper level and stands near the lamp, watching the beam complete its slow arc across the night. The mechanism turns smoothly, its motion constant, its rhythm unchanged. The keeper rests his weight evenly, standing without tension. The light passes, then passes again. Beyond the glass, the sea remains calm. Its surface reflects the faint glow briefly, then lets it go. Nothing stirs. Nothing draws closer. The horizon stays quiet, indistinct. The keeper remains there for some time. The passing of minutes feels gentle, unmeasured. There is no sense of waiting for anything else to happen. The night already feels complete. Eventually, he turns away from the light. The stairs welcome him again as he descends. The motion smooth, practiced. Each level receives him quietly, offering no resistance, no surprise. At the midpoint of the tower, he pauses near another window. This one faces a different direction, opening onto a stretch of dark water and rock below. The keeper looks out briefly, not searching, simply acknowledging what is already there. The scene remains unchanged. The water moves softly against itself. The sound is distant, steady, blending easily with the quiet of the tower. The wind brushes lightly along the outer walls, barely noticeable, then fading again. He steps away from the window and continues downward. At the base of the tower, the keeper moves toward the door once more. It opens easily, allowing a breath of cool night air to slip inside, then settle again. He steps out onto the walkway, his pace slow, unhurried. The night feels wide here. The keeper walks along the curve of the tower, following the stone path as it bends gently beneath his feet. The ground feels solid, dependable, unchanged by the passing hours. The beam of light sweeps overhead as he moves, passing across the sea and returning again. Its rhythm remains patient, unbroken. He stops near the far side of the walkway. From here, the water stretches outward, calm, dark. The surface reflects faint traces of light, but nothing sharp, nothing distracting. The night holds everything softly, without contrast. The keeper rests his hands against the railing again. The stone feels cool, steady, beneath his palms. He remains there for a while, breathing slowly, standing easily, present without effort. Time continues to move, though it is difficult to tell how. When he turns back toward the door, the movement feels natural, unremarkable. Inside the tower, the warmth returns gently, settling around him without effort. He closes the door and continues on. The stairs guide him upward once more, a familiar spiral leading him back toward the light. Each step feels the same as the last, steady, reliable. At the top, the lamp continues its quiet work. The keeper stands nearby, letting the beam complete its slow arc again and again. Nothing interrupts it. Nothing asks for change. He remains there briefly, then moves away, allowing the space to hold itself. The descent feels slower now, the pauses longer, the movement softer. At the lower level, he stops once more near the bench and sits. This time, he stays. His shoulders relax. His hands rest loosely. His breathing remains slow, even. The faint sound of the sea reaches him from outside, steady, unchanged. The tower holds its quiet. The light continues to turn. The night deepens gently, without shifting its calm. Everything remains exactly as it should be. The keeper remains seated, letting the stillness settle more deeply. The bench supports him easily, its surface cool, unchanging, familiar beneath him. For a long while, he does not move. The light above continues its steady turning, unseen from here, but felt in the gentle rhythm it gives to the tower. Each rotation passes without announcement, without demand. The mechanism does not hurry. It does not slow. It simply continues. The sound of the sea drifts in faintly, distant, soft, even a presence rather than a sound. The keeper's breathing remains slow, unremarkable, rising and falling without effort. His hands rest loosely, fingers relaxed, holding nothing. His shoulders settle naturally, releasing any remaining tension without thought. Time feels less defined now. Moments do not arrive clearly. They blend, stretch, and pass without being counted. After a while, the keeper shifts slightly on the bench. Not to get comfortable, just because movement happens. He remains seated a little longer, then stands when it feels natural to do so. The motion is unhurried, smooth, leaving no sense of transition behind. He walks slowly across the lower level of the curve of the wall guiding him, the stone surface close and steady beside him. The air feels balanced here, neither warm nor cool, holding the same calm it has held all night. A lantern glows quietly near the wall. Its flame is small, steady, unchanged. Patient, the keeper passes it without pause, without thought. It does not ask to be noticed. He reaches the base of the stairs again and stops. For a moment, he stands completely still. The tower feels settled, balanced, complete, as though nothing more is required of it. He begins to climb. The steps feel slower now, not from effort, but from ease. Each foot meets the stone gently, the sound absorbed quickly, leaving no echo behind. The spiral guides him upward, the curve familiar, reassuring. His hand rests lightly against the wall, fingers brushing the cool stone as he ascends. Shadows stretch along the wall beside him, then soften, repeating their quiet pattern. The light above grows nearer, not brighter, just closer, more present. At the upper level, the keeper slows and pauses. The lamp rests at the center of the room, unchanged. Its glass panels are clear. The mechanism turns smoothly, perfectly balanced, as it has been all night. The beam sweeps outward across the night, then returns again, wide, patient, steady. The keeper stands nearby, not inspecting, not adjusting. Everything is already working as it should. He rests his hand lightly against the railing, the faint vibration beneath his palm constant, reassuring. A quiet reminder of motion that does not require attention. Beyond the glass, the sea remains calm. The water reflects the passing light briefly, then releases it, No waves rise. No movement draws focus. The horizon stays soft, indistinct, blending gently into the night sky. The keeper stays where he is. Time feels distant now, less defined, stretching gently without markers. Eventually, he steps away from the lamp and moves toward the window on the far side of the room. He looks out, not searching, letting his gaze rest where it naturally does. The night looks the same in every direction. Dark water, quiet sky, steady calm. He turns back toward the stairs and begins his descent once more. The movement is slower now, softer. Each step taken without effort. The rhythm gentle, unforced. The stone walls hold the quiet easily, enclosing the space without change. At the middle level, he pauses again. The room remains unchanged. The lantern glows steadily. Shadows rest where they have rested all night, neither deepening nor fading. The keeper walks a short distance, then stops again. He stands there quietly, breathing slow, even. Nothing presses forward. Nothing pulls him back. After a while, he continues downward. At the lower level, the bench waits near the wall, exactly where it has always been. He sits once more, settling into the familiar position with ease. This time, the stillness feels deeper. His shoulders relax completely. His hands rest loosely in his lap. His breathing blends fully into the quiet of the tower. The sound of the sea reaches him faintly, steady, even, unchanged. The keeper remains seated, unmoving now. The light above continues to turn. The tower holds the night feels full, not ending, not beginning, simply continuing in its calm, steady way. Moments soften further, edges blur. Time loses its clarity entirely. The keeper does not follow it. He remains there, still, present as the calm deepens and spreads, holding everything gently, exactly as it is. The keeper remains seated, and for a long while, nothing changes. The bench supports him quietly. The stone floor holds its cool steadiness. The walls curve around the space without effort. The light above continues its slow turning. Each rotation passes through the tower like a breath, arriving, moving on, leaving everything exactly as it was. There is no sense of how much time has passed. Minutes no longer feel distinct. They soften as they arrive, then fade before they can be counted. The keeper's breathing is barely noticeable now. Slow, even tall, so natural it blends into the stillness around him. His hands rest loosely in his lap. His shoulders are fully relaxed. Nothing in his posture suggests readiness or expectation. The tower feels complete. Not quiet because something has stopped, but quiet because nothing needs to continue. The mechanism does not strain. The glass does not cloud. The beam moves outward into the night, then returns again, patient, unchanging. Beyond the stone and glass, the tower holds the light, The light holds the dark. The sea holds its steady rhythm. The keeper simply remains. Thoughts do not arrive clearly now. They drift, thin, and pass without forming. Awareness widens, then loosens, then rests. The sound of the sea becomes less distinct, more like a presence than a sound. The turning of the light becomes less noticeable, not because it stops, but because it no longer needs attention. The keeper's breathing continues, slow, unforced, easy to forget. The bench remains beneath him. The floor remains cool. The walls remain steady. Everything stays exactly where it is. Time no longer moves forward in a way that can be followed. It spreads gently, then fades into stillness. Night feels settled now, fully, completely. Nothing more is required. The light continues to turn. The tower continues to stand. The sea continues to rest. And the calm remains, wide, steady, unchanging. The night holds everything without effort, without expectation, without end. The keeper remains. The light remains. The sea remains. And the stillness stays exactly as the space stays just as it is. Quiet, steady, unchanged by passing moments. Lights remain soft. Sounds remain distant. And the night continues gently on its own. There's nothing left to follow. Nowhere else to go. Only the quiet movement of time. And whether you're still listening or already drifting, this place remains calm and waiting as the night